Salud.
Salud. Big week for the two giants of Spanish football. Obviously, we're talking about Barça Real Madrid. That is the focus of entire video, but you did see the title and the thumbnail. The biggest topic we're going to tee up today is Pedri, man. So impactful for both clubs, both sides. So obviously, I had to bring my boy Andre in, diehard Madridista, to help me break it all down. I'm sure he's pumped to some extent. I'm obviously not. We're going to talk about it. But before we get to any of that, man, let's tee it off with, big week. Champions League, La Liga. I would say a massive week for both clubs. The gap has been closed in La Liga. First off, bro, how you feeling about everything so far?
Oh, man. That's a great question. I would say optimistic is the word that I think about, especially after Champions League midweek, after Arbeloa's first 3 matches in charge, which has been a whirlwind. We can talk about that here in a bit.
Legend Arbeloa.
Yeah, but after all, I mean, we're 1 point behind, and I think you and I have said it all along. Even if you get a 6-point lead, a 7-point lead halfway through the season, that doesn't mean shit in La Liga, dude. Both of our teams have the ability to go on a run, and at the same time, they have the ability to, kind of encounter some roadblocks and challenges that could derail your season, and one of them being injuries, which we've talked about. That's the one thing I've always said with a caveat. I fucking hate injuries as a player myself, as a player yourself. I'm sure you think the same way. That's the last thing you wish upon an enemy. You want to beat them fair and square, right? Like you want to beat them at full strength, and that's in every sport. So we can definitely unwrap that a little bit more. But yeah, I would say optimistic just because we're not lagging behind. Champions League, we're gonna probably secure a top 8, and so we skip those 2 legs for the knockout, which should rest some legs. And then of course La Liga is getting down to the wire here with one more Clásico to go. So I can't wait, man.
Yeah, man. That win against Levante, I thought I did watch the game. That pen was not a pen. Say that shit right now. Like that shit was not a pen. But I mean, it didn't really matter, right? Levante is a tricky team, man. I'll say that them and Elche are very tricky sides to go up against, and such a banana peel game. The 2-0 win was clinical enough on paper. Did you feel confident enough after that win going into a Champions League week?
Yes, I did. I felt like the team was invigorated. I felt like players that needed to step up, like Valverde, Vinicius, even Jude had a solid game. Nothing crazy, nothing fancy, but just I felt like Levante was going to be more of a test than Monaco, to be quite honest with you. And to your point, I mean, Levante's been in, kind of a weird form as of late, but they have Eta Young up top. They've got a couple of players that can be disruptive, and teams like that always play against Madrid or Barca like it's their Super Bowl. Facts. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't matter what fucking what they've done in the last 5, 6, 7 games.
Bro, fans will look at their place in the table. Yeah, they'll look at their place in the table and like, oh, they're relegation can't to La Liga, bro. There's no way they're real. I don't care. I think any conference league team loses to a team like Levante.
Agreed.
And yeah, bro. Anyway, I didn't mean to cut you off there. I just for anybody who's looking at the table as Andre's talking, yeah, that's the response, bro. They're a tricky team. You got to watch them play.
Yeah. So I think what I saw from the match at the weekend was enough for me to feel confident going into midweek, especially playing at home against a very young team in Monaco. I mean, they do have options up top with Balogun, with Golovin been there for a minute, but Ansu Fati, who I've always respected, and how much I've enjoyed watching play. But I do think that, going into the match midweek, I loved seeing Mastantuono, and we can talk a little bit more about that. I know under Xavi, he kind of felt lost and he wasn't playing him enough. And I feel like Arbeloa gave him that, vote of confidence of like, hey, buddy, like you can still be on the team. Jude scored a couple goals. So overall, I thought, the Levante game was a good setup for what we saw midweek.
Look how bad this back line was.
Told you, bro. I'm telling you. If you pull that team compared to Levante midweek, you're like, can we just swap them? Levante would do better in Champions League, bro.
They did. Frankly, they did. They did better. They lost 2-0, not 6-1. This is not an insane. Yeah, this is an insane level of performance to put in.
You and I were talking about this offline, but I don't think I've ever seen a below 3 on FOTMob. 1.8 for my boy Terra is sacrilegious, man.
It's
That's
crazy.
crazy.
I don't know. Like, I mean, granted, like I said, I didn't see the second half, so I can't like attest to his entire performance. There were so many
Right.
good games on that day, bro.
Yeah.
This is
But
insane. Yeah, I told you, right? I never even seen anything close to a 1. Like, this
No.
is wild.
And then your boy Eric Dyer, of course, had to hold it down for
Yeah.
for those Prem lovers out there.
Yeah, good old Spurs faithful.
Exactly.
Love that. Yeah, bro. All in all, I think at the end of the day, good week from a number of perspectives, right? We look about Real Madrid, not just with their own performances, but I mean, bro, to kick off the entire week from Barca's perspective.
Totally.
That game against Sociedad, by the way, I got asked a million times, as you can imagine, that day how I felt about the game. You know what the crazy part is? I wasn't that upset.
Dude, it's a tough match.
It's
a tough environment.
It's a tough environment. San Sebastian is no joke. Like,
Yeah.
I think the fans who live there are built diff, bro. Like,
Yeah, dude.
You watch
The best country as a whole.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
You watch some of those Barça fans who did travel like individually, and they're just standing there as the fans are dancing all around them. It's I was like, damn, I felt that. But we've had this talk numerous times, bro. Sometimes I can find a lot of solace in just how the team plays.
Yeah, for sure.
If the scoreline goes my way, great, fantastic. Hopefully, it's a byproduct of how we played that day. And it honestly, bro, in my opinion, it should have been for a number of reasons. Whether it was the 2 goals that got called back, the penalty that got called back, the 4 or 5 times we hit the bar. I mean, it sometimes shit happens.
Yeah,
it is what it is. And so, but with that said, bro, I could not really complain about how we played. I actually thought we played very well. It's an unfortunate result. With that said, though, what pisses me off the most, right, is that Madrid did close the gap. And thinking about that performance going into the Slavia Prague game, the only reason I was a little bit nervous is you never want to go into a pivotal match in any competition coming off the back of a loss. I think coming off the back of a loss, it's like, I don't think confidence is completely shot, but I do think that you start to just question yourself as a player a little bit, with a lot more pressure on you and the team going into that big game. And this is a big game, bro. For all the context, Barça had to win just to be in a position in the final match day to qualify for top 8. So we got it done, right? The 4-2. I personally think it was an interesting game. Fermin is unbelievable.
I love that guy. I'm not gonna lie,
bro. He's unbelievable. Like I watch him.
Fantasy points as well.
Is that what you have him in? You have him that's hilarious. I love that. But bro, I mean, you look at Fermin, bro, in the first 20 minutes of this game, and I feel like he always comes out of the block so fast. But man, it just in the cold, and you know it was cold, bro. You know it was insanely cold. I think I heard Gerard Martin in the interview afterwards say that it was the most miserable period of time he's ever had on a football pitch.
Dude, again, going from Donostia to play in Praga, of course, back-to-back uncomfortable environments. Like, if I were you, I would go into being like, holy fuck, if we get a draw, it's a positive, right? So,
yeah, and to top it off too, like, yeah, and they hadn't lost a home match in 19 in a row, and only one home loss in the Champions League going into the game. So I felt like it was going to be super even, and it kind of was. They opened up the scoring pretty quick, but Fermin, man, guys showed up. Balls. We let in a stupid own goal to close out the first half, but I thought we were clinical in the second half and got it done, and had to get it done because now that's what we're going to talk about today. We lose out on Pedri with 30 minutes to play, and to top it off, Frankie won't be available for the Copenhagen game next week due to card accumulation. So you look at losing Frankie's massive, in my opinion, still. This to me is in another stratosphere. This to me is like, and the crazy part is, bro, people will look at this shit and be like, well, he wasn't playing that well anyway before he got injured. That's not the fucking point. Even let's just say that's true. Even if he had a bad game, it doesn't matter. He's so vital to how not even just Barca's midfield.
He's the essence. He's like your DNA.
Yeah, and a lot of fans out there, do not get me wrong, a lot of fans out there will say that Rafinha is the glue. That I've already been told that I'm making a big deal out of this. And the only issue I have with that statement is I actually agree with that statement. Rafinha is the glue, but from a leadership perspective.
Yeah.
He like does all the work that nobody else wants to do, and he demands more of players around him. That's why Flick loves him so much.
Agreed.
With that said, and of course, there's the data correlation, right? Like I think every game, and I don't know how many months now that Rafinha hasn't started, we've dropped points, we've lost or drawn, and so he is the glue from that perspective. But there is not a single player on this team, or maybe on planet Earth, that can do what Pedri can do. And so, like, the reliance upon him maybe is a bit much. But this is a massive, massive injury with a big, big impact. We got the word today that from the club that he's out for a month. I think it could be slightly longer than that. I think it could be 5 weeks potentially. Yeah,
a hamstring you don't fuck around with. Another thing too is when you look at the next like 5 or 6 fixtures, let's just say through like end of February. Yeah, I'm gonna use the word like fortunately, or I guess luckily for you guys, it kind of seems like a pretty decent run of matches where hopefully it doesn't affect you as much, right? Like you're not towards the end of the season where it's like knockout stage in Champions League. Again, he's only missing the Copenhagen match when it comes to Champions League before the knockout stage. So like timing probably could have been worse. But at the same time, though, it changes the way that Flick approaches every match. It changes the way that he rotates players. Obviously, with Frankie not being available for Champions League, what do you do with Casado? It's going to be really interesting because not only from like a tactical perspective, but also you kind of give, other teams the idea that like there's a chance here. Like Pedri's not going to be, holding it down the middle. Like they're going to, have to utilize and leverage some of those younger guys who maybe don't have as many minutes under them. Maybe you're going to see some tactical switch ups, maybe some different lineups. So like from a formation standpoint, that also gives you an edge or an advantage if you're the competitor, right? So it changes everything. For those people who are saying like, oh, you're making this a big deal. It is a big deal. If you know ball, you know that this is a big fucking deal because of the way Barcelona have been playing for the last 2-3 seasons under Pedri.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that the game that makes me most nervous, believe it or not, is this fucking Albacete game. Like, I mean, we saw
you saw how they played against Madrid.
Not even just that, but you saw how the fans got up for it. The minute they get a little bit of hope, it can turn the entire match on its head. Agreed. So that, to me, I don't think the Madrid loss was solely capitulation after a manager got fired. I do believe that it's why we love cup football at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's like Madrid didn't lose the game. Albacete went out and fucking won it.
Yeah, giant slaying. It's the beauty of it.
And the beauty of the cup, right? We see it in every competition across the big leagues in Europe, with Crystal Palace losing a couple weeks ago in the FA Cup or whatever it might be. But Albacete is going to be up for it, right? The fact that they get Madrid and Barca back to back, are you fucking kidding me? Like that's to them is like their lifetime is right there. Yeah. So
yeah, bro, they won the lotto. Yep. It's the one that makes me most nervous. I think the one that obviously is the most pressure filled is going to be the Copenhagen game. Because of who we're tied with. If we go into the
knockout stage.
Yeah, the table for let me go back here.
Champions League.
For Champions League. So if you look at the table and where everything is at now, right? Between 6th and 13th, we're all tied.
Yep. Which means
legitimately all tied.
Between 6th and all the way down to like 17th or 18th, it's only a 3-point gap.
Yep.
Just crazy.
Yeah, bro. And I don't know who like straight up, like, I mean, look, Inter Dortmund, based on how Inter played against Arsenal, I thought Arsenal played well, but I think Inter also didn't have the greatest game. So that's going to be interesting. I think even Galatasaray City is going to be super interesting. But you come up here, PSG's playing Newcastle, Chelsea has Napoli. Like there's going to be shifts. And I think from my perspective, it may not look like it on the table today, but it really is win and you're in if you're Barca. Like it should be based on how the rest of these matches will shake up on the final day. So big implications with both those two midfielders out. And I think moving forward and looking ahead, bro, I mean, Casado's going to have to step up. He has been playing well. I think Marc Bernal is going to have to really start to try and find form probably faster than either him or Flick wanted him to. At least for like the next game or next couple games. I mean, I think Frankie's going to come back. He's going to be available for La Liga and come back after the Copenhagen game. So it'll be fine from that perspective. But we still have no one that can do what Pedri does. Bro, part of me thinks you might have to, if you're Flick, think about deploying Dani Olmo in the 8, just because of his technical ability on the ball. Like it's not that Frankie can't do it. He's just not that ball carrier in the attacking third.
He's older. He's
he's an engine. He carries the ball well, but like it's the minute he crosses the attacking phase of the game.
Right. That's
my biggest criticism is just that I don't think he hesitates. He's not an attacker, or he doesn't think about going to goal. So
instinctually, he doesn't think to go to goal. Exactly.
So the final passes he makes sometimes can be off. They're accurate, but like it could have been the wrong pass. Like it's just things like that irk me a little bit. But all in all, I think we'll figure it out. It might be ugly football for some of these games. The Elche game is going to be interesting. Yeah. Like it might be ugly football, but I think we'll be okay.
I think that's so. Going back to your point of like you mentioned that I'm a little bit excited that Pedri's hurt. Like yes and no, right? Like as a fan, I love my team. I want every single bit of edge that we can get to get ahead. Sure, like yeah, that's an advantage that we have. That being said, Madrid have their own issues as well. Right, and that's assuming.
Yeah, but you're pretty excited about Pedri being out.
I think out of all players, if Lamine is out, he hasn't had that season that he had a year ago. So yes, like out of all the players that you find hard to replace, I think Pedri's the hardest.
Yes,
and I think
would fully agree with that. Yeah, and I think honestly, bro, I'll be. This is so for real. I think this is a bigger loss than if Madrid lost Mbappe for a month.
Yeah. I mean, we've lost him. He was out for however many weeks before, or not weeks, but at least matches before the Supercopa, right? He came back against you guys second half. So Rodrigo stepped up, thankfully, but like, he's a goal scorer. He's not necessarily like the way that we play. He's not the DNA of the team. Like we
but you'd agree he's the best player.
No, he is for sure the best player, but I'm agreeing with you in the fact that like there's ways to find to at least find replacements. Whereas with Pedri, it's like we need to change the way we fucking play. Like, we need to like tailor it to whoever's like in the starting 11 for us to like find a way. You know what I mean? You're not gonna play the same way that you've been playing throughout the last 2-3 seasons because he's out. I mean, how many games did he play that one season a couple years ago? Right, like 60 something with
club something stupid. Yeah, when we played the national team as well.
Both Spain and Barcelona were relying on him. So.
I didn't give a shit that they played him every game.
No,
to be fair, Barça needed him to make top 4 that year. So, like, when people were criticizing, I'm like, hey, listen, if you had to make top 4, he was your best midfielder. Are you benching him? Yeah, you have to play him. Have to play him. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I was kind of throwing that shot back to, on Dead Ball when we talked about who the best player in La Liga was.
I know.
I'm telling you, man, it's Pedri. Like, I get everybody's shout for Mbappe because, like on paper,
he's the most impactful. Right.
I don't agree with that statement either. Like I actually believe Pedri is the most impactful player. Like I just don't think there's anybody that could do what he does. And I can't find another midfielder. People will point to like Vitinha maybe, but I don't think so. I think he's maybe like Pedri light. Right. Declan's great too. Still can't do what Pedri does. It's just like, bro, I'll say this with so much chest, bro. You put him on any Premier League team, put him on Manchester City, and he's carving up Premier League defenses. I firmly believe that. I think he bosses midfields. The only battle he loses is physical. And even then, he's getting stronger. So, I don't know, man. He holds himself in Champions League very well. Yeah. I just feel like this is such a massive, massive piece to lose. And it really impacts both sides in a massive way. Because if Barça does go into a spell of down form because of missing Pedri, in this part of the season, bro, we're gonna have so much ground to make up when the tough part of the season, the business end of the season, comes around in March and April. So,
and it's a World Cup year. I keep saying that, but I'm telling you, dude, players want to find their form. There's going to be injuries. Coaches are going to be forcing it. Like you never know. There's all these intangibles that we've seen many times, season in and season out. So it's going to be very interesting. How do you feel? Let's take your objective, analyzing view of the match or view of the game, and be just your true fan, wear your true fan hat. Like, how do you feel subjectively about this? Like, how do you feel, as a passionate culé?
It sucks. It honestly, my first thought when it happened was season's over.
Yeah.
Season's over.
I saw it on Twitter.
Yeah. Season's fucking over.
Everybody that I've talked to that's a big Barca fan, I'll give shouts to our boy Mario. You know him very well. First thing he texted me was like, our seaseason's done. It's like the first thing he texted me. So,
bro, it's crazy. We could have lost Rafinha again. We could have lost Lewa. We could have lost, I don't know, Koundé. We could have been anybody, and I wouldn't feel this way. If Pedri goes, and bro, it looked like a tear. I swear, when I saw it, I was like, he's done. Season's over. Like I just by default, and that's people that might seem overreactive, but I can't stress enough. Just if you don't know what I'm talking about, man, go back and watch not just this game. This game, it wasn't his best showing. I will agree with that to some extent, but it's also a harsh environment in comparison to what he's used to. Totally. I still feel like go watch him in any of the recent El Clásicos. Go watch him in the biggest games in general. Outside of the Chelsea game, I feel like against Newcastle he was massive. Actually, he might have been hurt against Newcastle, but anyway, I think there's so much that any club in the world would appreciate when it comes to Pedri. To me, it's not even a debate. Like I thinking about it now, even in my head, who like the top 3 midfielders in the world are, he is number one. He is number one. I firmly believe that, and I think that
you can definitely argue that.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't know if you can argue massively against it. Like,
no,
you know what I mean? Like again, people are gonna throw whoever out there. Declan Rice.
I just know like people are gonna throw out there like goals and assists and stats and XG and all that shit, which is the dumbest fucking way of looking at soccer. But
it's the laziest take in the world.
Exactly. From an eye test perspective, from if you know ball, if you know how a team plays, if you know how, one of the most important clubs in Europe, which is Barcelona, and how, one of the best teams or national teams in Europe, which is Spain, play because of one player, like you can definitely put 2 and 2 together here.
Yeah. So. And look, I'm telling you, bro, that the biggest compliment I think get to Pedri is basically paraphrasing what Paul Scholes said about him, and I got that wrong. He wasn't hurt in the Newcastle game. He was playing. He at the end when they went into stoppage time, they had just scored to make it 2-1. Yeah. And when we went into stoppage time, remember we were on the stream and I was literally thinking I'm nervous. Like now it's like they're probably gonna get the fucking equalizer, especially with how our backline was playing at the beginning of the season. Of
course, yeah.
And dude, it's like it was at 7 minutes, 8 minutes. I think it was 8 minutes. For 7 of those, Pedri had possession of the ball. Like that's insane, bro. Like I can't think of a single midfielder who's just like, you know what? I'm so press resistant with my technical ability that just give me the ball. They're not going to get it off me. Yeah. And it's like I don't know how else to describe it besides that example. In crucial moments, again, Frankie's amazing, but we don't have someone who can do what Pedri does.
The other thing too is, again, we not to beat a dead horse here, but we talked about the injury itself. Obviously, the club said a month. I think it's more. You and I both think it's more. It should be more. You don't want to rush him back. You don't want to rush him at 85%. You know what I mean? You want to wait for him to be 100% because the lengthy part of the season, the meaty part of the season is coming up. So, like, to me, it's not like Flick shouldn't rush him back in and be like, all right, we need you against, if you guys get City, for example, in the Champions League quarterfinals and he needs to play. It's like, just fucking figure it out right now.
This is the game I would be targeting if I were
March 1st.
Staff. March 1st against Villarreal.
Yep.
You will need him in that game most likely, unless you plan to just play a physical game entirely.
Agreed.
With how vertical Villarreal likes to get. So I think you target that and like just assume he's going to miss every other game before then. Because then the run begins. When we have Villarreal, Athletic Club, Sevilla, who we lost to convincingly at the San Ramon Pichuan, Rayo, who thank God for the heroics of Joan Garcia because we would have lost that game at
and then of course Atleti, dude.
Atleti, Espanyol, that derby, Getafe, who always gives us problems away. I think we've lost more games away in the last 2 or 3 seasons than one. Celta, who's our bogey team, and then we get maybe a little bit of a break, and then we have a Clásico. So this 2-month stretch of games is so damn important that we cannot bring him back early. Like 4 weeks, bro, make it 6 or 7. Like give him till the 1st because we're gonna need him at the business end of the season so badly, especially if we just assume that Madrid maintains form, that they just keep going, winning game after game, and it's 1 point going into the Clásico, bro. We have to have him ready.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, man. I mean, I also think you look at not only La Liga but also the other 2 competitions that you guys are gonna be in, right? Like if you beat Albacete, then you're getting into like the nitty gritty of
4 games.
You know what I mean? And then you start getting into Champions League. If you go to if you don't secure top 8, that's 2 extra matches that he's gonna miss because of the knockout stage. So like Flick right now is probably doing fucking chess in his head of like, how the hell am I going to do this? But that's why they pay them the big bucks, I guess.
Yeah. Is Pedri the most irreplaceable player in this team?
Yes.
The only 100%. One I will argue that maybe is the slightest bit less replaceable. There's 2. I mean, fans will always say Rafinha, but Joan Garcia.
I knew you were going to say Joan Garcia.
That guy is literally the second coming of Jesus, bro. Like
fitting like a glove. Season 1, just fucking hit the ground running, dude.
Bro, I'm going to say this. If he keeps going at this rate, if Messi was a keeper, this would be
crazy,
him, bro.
Dude.
This
crazy.
would be him, bro. I'm saying, man.
There's
look,
your YouTube
you've been spoiled having Courtois for years. Okay, I've never had this. Even with Valdez, like he had moments where he came up really big.
Not that Stegen in his prime. He was pretty fucking good, dude.
Look, I think they like him and Valdez suffer from the same perception problem, which is that their teams were also really fucking good.
Yeah, I agree.
Like I'm not gonna say like, oh, age is not a thing. He got a little bit older, whatever. But if you look at the drop off in form from when Barça went to shit and how he started playing, bro,
I agree.
Terrible.
Correlation there.
Yeah, for sure. Pretty big correlation. I look at Joan Garcia, and even when our back line is complete dog shit, he is there making saves. Saves that I don't expect him to make. I don't even hold him accountable if he were not to make the save. Like the one against Sociedad, right? Where Oyarzabal banged that home first time. Who's going to save that? Like, it is what it is, bro. Like, you know, whatever. But,
he's playing
bro,
his damn line.
I've never had a keeper like this that I felt could actually win us games.
And with his feet, too. Like, he looks so confident when he gets a ball at his feet. Because a lot of times Ter Stegen like makes this fucking howler.
Well, he does. Like, he's just too confident. Ter Stegen doesn't know the line. Like he's like, oh yeah, I can squeeze that 40-yard pass down the field to those 2 defenders. Like, bro, come on.
You relax, Neuer.
Yeah.
So bad. It's like, bro.
That's it. He wanted to be Neuer, and I feel like Joan Garcia is Spanish Neuer.
Yeah,
that's probably the best way to put it.
He's fucking awesome. He's great.
Yeah.
But you're right though. Outside of those 2, like Rafinha, but Rafinha was hurt earlier this season, like
it's also more intangibles. Like Rafinha is like really intangible based. I think the other 2 are very much like the skill ceiling and the skill gap between them and the next best person is massive.
True. Yeah, like the depth. Like now you start getting into like the squat depth and like to basically slot somebody into for Pedri. Like you can't. There isn't a Pedri 2.0. Like it's
the drop off is immense. Like it's
dude. I've actually you brought up a really good point in Dani Olmo. I don't know. I want to believe that he can do it because he's got that like skill set in terms of like just pure raw talent and like he's a baller. But at the same time, that's to your point. Like, is that too much to ask for him? Is that kind of the expectations are too high or? To your point with Frankie, like once they get into the final third, maybe Dani Olmo is not thinking the way that Pedri thinks, right? Like it's so hard for you to like be like, just think the way he thinks. It's like you can't see those things. It's like when Zidane was playing for us, like nobody else can see that, they don't have that vision. So
exactly, bro. And Dani, he's technical enough to do it. The issue is I worry about defensive work rates, which I know he gives at least up to a certain point, but there's also like the last few. Prior to like the last couple games for Barça, like he had this weird run of form. And bro, and against Sociedad was the best example. I was screaming after 70 minutes, like his head is so far gone. You just have to take him off. Like it was one of those games where you're just like, bro, everything he does, he shanked one over the top from 8 yards out. And a gimme, such a gimme finish that I'm just like, bro, how do you miss that? I know it was raining, but yeah, just like certain touches, certain passes he was looking to make, lobs over the top.
Yeah,
it just all felt off, bro. And like you could see him getting frustrated very visibly. I'm like, Flick, get him off, man. Like it's not even like, hey, you're terrible, but today you suck. You just got to get off the field, bro. Like
Agreed.
It is what it is. I still think though, against the first test, this coming weekend, it's a good one to test it against. Just try him. Try him at the 8. It's Oviedo at the end of the day. Like just try him at the 8. Let him get a little bit comfortable. Let's see what he can do as far as decision making goes and retaining possession because what Pedri does so well. And I think if they could figure it out, a little trio between Frankie, Dani, and I don't know, Fermin, I guess, at the 10, I'm not terribly mad. I just still have question marks. I still have question marks. So
how do you feel? We're gonna transition here a little bit. I want to put you on the spot, but what's going on with Rashford, dude? Like, what's your assessment so far? What do you see happening in the future?
man, it's 50-50.
Because here's the thing, though. Like, now you mentioned, okay, play Fermin at the 10. If you slot Rafinha in the 10, that's got to be Rashford's spot, right? So is he starting every game now in this like massive run that you guys have of 8 tough matches, quote unquote?
Yeah.
Without Pedri?
I don't think how do I say this? I don't know if we're gonna buy Rashford at the end of the season. That's still a major, major unknown. I think he'll get a chance to prove himself now because, like you said, there's just spots to fill. And keep in mind, Ferran Torres is also injured. So and you can't count on Lewa like week in and week out. So there's gonna be like just like shifting of personnel up top in general that will affect the midfield.
Sure.
Bro, I like Rashford a lot. My biggest gripe of him has always been defensive work rate. But I do think Flick appreciates the changes he's made, how he's adapted to the Spanish game, what he's brought to the team in crucial moments in cup competition, specifically Champions League.
I would agree.
And bro, when he came on against Sociedad, look what happened, right? Like I mean, the equalizer was short-lived, but good things happen when he comes on. I don't think he should start.
Even yesterday, Champions League, right? Like,
yeah,
he's got flashes, but I think it's a lot to ask from him, even from the United days, to start and to play the full 90.
Yeah. I don't think it's I think it depends on the team. I think in this team, it's a lot to ask. I also, because of the way like Flick loves to play, but also because frankly, bro, he's just not one of the best 2 options. Like and if the team's all healthy, Rafinha and Yamal are going to start. And bro, I even feel like Rooney Bargi needs like more minutes because I think he's
really good,
fantastic winger. Yeah, there's so much competition now in those positions, bro. Like, it's just tough. So I think Rashford, whether he gets his deal or not at the end of this whole thing, I think he's lifted up his own market value in a World Cup year. I think it's impressive as hell anyway to see a winger, not just from the Prem, but an English winger altogether at Barça doing what he's doing. So, yeah, man, I'm not mad at it. I just feel like I would, if we're gonna go after him, gotta negotiate a lower price. Like pay 30 million for a backup.
That's what I was trying to get at. That's way too much money.
Yeah, it's too much money. Like, you got to go back and make that. Honestly, bro, cut that in half. Like 15 mil, cool. Yeah, we can do that. He's gonna play 30 minutes a game, potentially, or starting in relief in cup competitions. But yeah, I right now I can't get more than that. So yeah, man. But look, let's segue really quickly before we wrap up into the weekend. Bro, big weekend. And bro, first off, I say big weekend because I literally had nothing now more to do than really watch football. There's a massive winter storm headed my way. And I will be locked in, riding out on Saturday, Madrid's game, and then Barça on Sunday. So let's talk real quick about this massive game between Real Madrid and Villarreal.
Huge game, dude.
If there was ever a chance for Barça to restore the 4-point gap, it would be this week.
This is it. 100%. I mean,
yeah. What do you think?
I will say though, I feel good because of the last 2 matches. Obviously, beating Levante at home, beating Monaco at home. But dude, every time we go to Villarreal, for some reason, Estadio de la Cerámica, dude, it's a tough spot to play in. I will say though, like the form that Villarreal have been in recently, you can argue like this should be a winnable game, but they've dropped. I mean, they lost to Ajax, didn't they, recently in Champions League?
Yeah.
So that was I think they lost in the 90th minute or whatever it might be. They lost to Betis, and then they lost to you guys as the last 5. So should be a winnable game. If we win that and we go into the Benfica game next week, then I'll feel pretty confident. But if we drop points against Villarreal, like this is a massive opportunity, and I think hopefully the boys are up to it. In terms of like just looking at Arbeloa and his tactical setup, I really hope Mastantuono continues to play. He's been playing phenomenally. I think players, when you get a new manager, for some reason it just kind of invigorates you, and you're like, you know what, fuck it, like let's forget about what happened with Xavi. Let's try to move forward, especially the 3-headed monster that we've talked about. We don't have to beat a dead horse here. Yeah. But Jude is kind of picking up his mark here. Vini and Mbappe, I expect big performances from them. So this should be a win. I would be very disappointed if we don't get 3 points.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough one, bro. Keep in mind, I was looking at it before the game. just what the form looks like at La Ceramica, man. And it's I think of the last 5, Madrid's won once.
Yep.
And so, not granted, there's some draws mixed in there as well, but I think at the end of the day, this is top 2 or top 3, sorry, top 3 battle in La Liga. I think as much as what sucks for Madrid is that they already got a taste of a shitty loss. And I say shitty because of how the game developed and the red card involvement. But when they played Barça, you know, it was a crazy 2-0 loss at home. And I think that those feelings are probably lingering this week, just wanting to kind of and bro, the manner in which they lost to Betis too last weekend, I think that they're looking to bounce back in a massive, massive way at home. With that said, though,
agreed.
I think as good as Villarreal are going forward, their back line to me is still to be had. I'm here's what I'm curious about. The biggest point that I think I'm looking for with this version of Madrid, because we saw it against Levante. If you actually watched the Levante game, I was so shocked to see Mbappe fucking pressing.
Imagine that.
Look at this dude fucking pressing. He can do it. It's amazing. He actually knows how to press. So, with that said, can they do that against Juan Foyth? Can they do that against Ronaldo Vega? I think if you can successfully and do it as a unit, not in a staggered fashion like we've seen in the past, I think there's a real opportunity to, bro. I mean, I'll predict it right now. I think Madrid probably find a way to go ahead super early in this game, like something stupid happening off the press, coughing up the ball. So I think that this game's going to be about how Villarreal react to that. If they hang their heads, or if they actually start coming out and trying to go at Madrid, and I think they will. I don't think they're going to stop because it's Real Madrid.
The crowd's going to be up for it too.
Yeah, it will. But I think at the end of the day, bro, I'm not super convinced. I was more convinced if this game had happened in the first half of the season at La Ceramica. Different story.
Agreed.
Different story. I don't know how I feel about Tejan Buchanan's form. I don't know how I feel about Moledo's form. But Danny Parejo is still starting matches at 36 years old. What does that say? I don't know, man. Like,
and you have Juan Foyth at center back.
I mean, I don't mind Juan Foyth. I don't mind Juan Foyth. I don't know, bro. I think he's fine. I'm not super confident. I think maybe I'm hopeful. I think it's going to end in a draw. When I say draw, I do mean like goals on both sides. I think 2-2 would be super fair. Only considering this is a top 3 race, there's potential for this to be a blowout from Madrid's perspective because you guys are the informed team coming into this game. But it would be, I don't know what that would say for the competitiveness of La Liga if it was just like a blowout at the top of the table. I'm sure you don't care, but at the end of the day, it's a massive game, prime time on Saturday night in Spain. I want to see this game go the distance, and I want it to be super close. So, man, we'll see. Let me ask you before we go.
What about you guys?
Well, from Madrid's perspective,
sure.
I was going to ask you before we switch over, who's the one player that cannot have a bad game against Villarreal?
It's a good question. I mean, I want to point at Jude just because I want to see that like good form continue kind of trickle into the match midweek against Benfica. And I can't really point at anybody in the back. Like it's tough. Like our backline's build has been a little bit So I'm gonna go with either Jude or Vinny. One of those two. Yeah. I feel like it'd be really easy for the media, for fans, especially with everything that's been going on after Xavi, for either of those two guys to have a bad game, right? And then they just keep getting targeted. Like that's the last thing I want. Like from a mentality standpoint, it looks like they're having fun on the field. Right? Like that's what we've seen, even with the celebrations, like when Jude scored and he did the little drink thing. Like, the first person that Vinny runs to when he scores is Mbappe and vice versa. Like I like their little bromance. So like I don't want anything else to get in the way of that because I feel like that mental part of it is what's getting to us. It's not necessarily like what's happening on the field per se. It's more about what's happening off the field with like when the lights are on, when the cameras are on you and you don't perform, like you will get eaten alive. And so I think Jude or Vinny need to have a good match, or they can't afford to have a bad one, I guess. Yeah,
I agree. Let's switch over to Barça Oviedo. I think this was going to be a super straightforward one, man. I think at the end of the day, considering what Oviedo is, what we know, I mean, let's be real, bro. They are who we thought they were. This was the one team that got promoted that we said, hey, you know what? It's going to be a good one-off season in La Primera for them. Amazing. And that is who they are today. So all the pressure in the world is on Barça to keep hold of the top spot in La Liga. I think the big question is just who's going to start, not just because of Pedri, but because of the fact that it's Oviedo and Flick can rotate. And we have a big Champions League game coming up against Copenhagen. So I'll be really curious to see who starts. I can almost predict Rooney Bargi will start. Casado will start. We might see Marc Bernal in this game. Regardless of what happens, though, all I really want to see is a fluid team, right? Honestly, bro, the same performance against Sociedad. Yeah. Same performance. Maybe less controversy, of course, but the same performance against Sociedad. Yeah. Sure. I think so, too. I think the amount of pressure we put, the opportunities we created, just the clinical nature of some of these things, whether it was, I mean, again, with some of these goals that were chopped off, it is what it is. But for that to happen, we need Rashford, if he does start up top, I think that could legitimately be a possibility. And need to do all the dirty work that Ferran was doing. And, of course, just be just as clinical of a finisher, and I think he will be. Really curious to see where Dani Olmo ends up playing. I think in this game, if we go with – we're probably going to go with the 4-2-3-1, I would assume. Double pivot, De Jong, either Bernal or Casado, probably Casado. And then, yeah, bro, between Olmo, Fermin, Rashford, and Lamine Yamal, you could put them wherever you want. I think maybe they start Bargi instead of Dani Olmo. You have two true wingers, but that's probably, I think, Fermin. Man, actually, Fermin might get the bench, bro. Only because you want to conserve in a game like this. You want to conserve your best talents, and he's just in crazy hot form right now. So maybe he comes off the bench in the last 15, 20 if we need him to. But I think you could probably even start Dani at the 10 and put Rooney out wide. So, yeah, man, I think this should be a clinical game. But I'll still be conservative in my approach in terms of like a prediction. For me, I still think there are moments Oviedo will get. Joan Garcia will have to come up big. So I'm going to say 2-0. 2-0 Barça Oviedo. Nothing crazy. I think it's at home. You restore some good form, played nice fluid football, and you walk out with no new injuries. Get ready for Copenhagen.
That's a big thing.
Yeah. And honestly, bro, you play Frankie into the ground this game. Like he doesn't have to get ready for Champions League midweek. So you play him every minute of the 90. And I think the one player that cannot afford a bad performance in this game, so that he carries some momentum into this game, is Koundé. Koundé needs it. Like he's had one-off good performances throughout the season, but the majority of the season
has to find that form. Yeah,
bro,
consistency.
At this point, like if it's going to happen this year, he needs to find it now. And I know that he's never going to actually lose his spot for France. I'm not saying this is like, hey, World Cup year, turn it up. But brother, like we're five months into the season. Like I need the form to start showing up, right? And maybe who knows if it's not there in this game. What sucks about it is he's going to have to end up starting in the Champions League. So it could be a scenario, actually, if you think about it, where Joao Cancelo starts. We might get him in this game, and he looked pretty decent in the Champions League for the Champions League minutes that he got in the last game. So, the Sociedad game that he got last. So, I mean, granted, we didn't win, but I still think he had a decent cameo. So, I don't know, man, but I think we got to figure out the right back spot. Our back line's got to improve all the way around. But if Koundé does start, I need this guy to step up, man. I need this guy to stop, not just stop getting beat, but better at 1v1 defending, standing up your man and winning the ball back so we can transition. So, 100%. Yeah, man, that's my take on Barça Oviedo. Any thoughts?
No, that's it. I completely agree with you. I think it's both teams should get 3 points. Anything less, and next time we record is going to be. Yeah, I was going to say we'll need 2 beers, bro. We'll need 2 beers for the next one, brother.
Yeah, there'll be a lot to talk about if that happens. Bro, I'm already like counting. I'm not looking past the Oviedo game, but I am very, 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 very worried about what the Champions League game will look like without Frankie or
Dude, you guys don't want. Trust me, I'm telling you from experience. We played in the knockout stage last year. Didn't we get City?
Yeah.
You don't want to play in the knockout stage, bro.
I don't.
2 more games and you get matched up with some teams that you're like, holy fuck, why are we playing Juventus, for example, or Inter? And like, you don't want that, bro. I'm telling you.
No. Honestly, part of me would take an Inter matchup only because I want that revenge from last season, but outside of that, no, I think it's pointless. I want top 8. So
Agreed.
Yeah.
All right,
we'll
man.
see how it all goes,
It'll
man.
be fun.
But yeah, look, guys, either way, if you made this far of the video, man, we appreciate you. Thank you so much. Look, we're going to leave the video there. Give us your predictions in the comments down below. Just want to hear how everybody feels about, I mean, Barça Oviedo, of course, but then again, bro, Madrid, Villarreal, going to be a massive, massive game. Two teams that, again, one in decent form, one in pretty good forms, considering how Madrid played lately. And all of it can impact, again, not just the top of the table in La Liga, but form going into the final match day of the Champions League phase. And, bro, I mean, I know you guys are virtually in, but everyone's going to be so locked in next week. That's going to be insane. So, again, if you enjoy La Liga content in any way, shape, or form, man, you enjoyed this show, again, drop us a like, subscribe to the channel. Brand new, got a lot of content coming, got other playlists of content in the channel down below as well. So check it all out. We got plenty more coming on the way. And again, man, we always appreciate our partners over at Goals TV. So for everybody here, man, at Second Pint, my name's Jose. That's Andre. We'll catch you guys next time.